witches. I'm Gory B Movie, and today we have Gory Talk, the show where I invite my spooky friends on and we talk about spooky stuff. Today, I have a very special treat for you. We have Creep Country Cinema, and they procreated, and we have their young loin fruit joining us today. So, allow me to welcome... Oh no, what did I do? Did I break it? I feel like, no, I didn't break it. Allow me to welcome Kevin, Amy Jane, and young Jareth.
Hi. Hey, say hello, handsome.
What is Jareth's full name?
Oh, he has so many names. His name is Jareth James Patrick Stanley, and then Stata, his last name.
So what was the inspiration for all of his names? In particular, I'm curious about his first name. Was it the Labyrinth? Tell me it's the Labyrinth.
Oh, yes. Yes, it was.
Oh my gosh. The power of Bowie is going to help you so much as you grow, young man. My baby, David Bowie's cool. He's cool. I know he stole babies in that movie, okay? But don't believe everything you see in movies, right? He's really cool.
Well, we had trouble deciding on names. Oh, yes, you've got a lot to say, don't you? Oh, now you're making all the noise, aren't you? Yeah, we had trouble deciding on names because we didn't find out if we were having a boy or a girl, so we didn't know. Oh, little man! Of course, as soon as we start, he's been so good.
This is, guys, so I want you to see how parenting is. You're going to see a lot of stuff about parenting, especially in, like, your Pixar movies. Oh, it's so wonderful. And you know what? It is, guys. It's the best thing that's ever happened. It doesn't happen, for everyone. But in reality, these things are terrifying. They make a lot of noise. A lot of fluids come out of all of their holes. And I have something very upsetting to show you. Okay, are you guys ready?
Oh, I think we're ready.
Okay, let me go to my display room. If I can remember where it is. No. Here we go. Okay, so let me show you. Look at this. This is a picture of a baby skull. Look how terrifying it is. Because their teeth, they're born with their teeth, but they haven't descended yet. So they have their adult teeth and their baby teeth. They're monsters. Look at that. Isn't that insane? And we're encouraged to breastfeed? What? I mean, I did, but let me tell you, like, it's frightening. So I had to show you guys that because that's probably the scariest thing I've ever seen.
We appreciate all the horror because it's true. Like, there is nothing scarier than childbirth and having a baby. So we definitely wanted a horror-inspired name, and we kind of had a lot of different ideas going into that because we knew that we wanted something fandom related as well, because being fans is such a huge part of our lives. But nothing was like, we went through the classics, Freddy, Jason. We know a lot of Freddys and Jasons. So we ended up deciding on Gabriel, and that was sort of the name that we had picked. We were going to be Gabriel, and we loved it. My dad was on board for this because the whole family couldn't agree on names that they liked, of course. And for a girl, we had decided on Nola because we love New Orleans, and that's the acronym.
Cool.
Yeah, so we thought Nola. And then the night before I started labor, we went through our list of names again, and Jareth, because we both loved Labyrinth growing up, was one of our top picks. And it was actually Kevin was like, hey, what about Jareth? I think I really like Jareth. And I said, okay, because I have two names. My first name's Amy Jane. And I said, we should give him two first names. So his name's Jareth James as his first name.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I should have put that on his name.
Don't even worry. Don't even worry, honey.
I have a Christina Marie friend, and if I don't add the Marie every time, I get in big trouble.
I know that feeling because I'm an Amy Jane, and I hated having two names growing up. And now I love having two names. So hopefully he feels that way. And then all the middle names are, they're actually family members who have passed. So just before I found out I was pregnant, Kevin lost a dear uncle of his who was actually more like, kind of like a dad to you in many ways.
I was always over at his place at my aunt's, and he was just always there, and he was just always so good with the kids and all of us. So yeah, he was like a father figure to me. So I just thought, Patrick. I like that name anyway, and I thought, well, great.
Yeah, and Patrick Bateman.
My grandpa was named Stanley, and I love Stanley, but you always got to think about what the nickname's going to be, and he would have been Stan Strata, and I was just, I didn't love it. I was like, I'm not sure. So now he definitely turned me down on some of the names that I wanted to use.
Like Damien, Samara?
Yes! All the time. We tell him that he is little Damie. We say, why you do this to me, Damie? All the time.
I just read The Exorcist, and I've always thought of the name Damien as being kind of scary, because the omen. And I love that in the book, there's a whole thing where Father Marin is talking about how it's a beautiful name, because there's this priest, and he devoted his life to living with people with leprosy, and he eventually got leprosy and died. And so he's like, he's so fortunate to have this gorgeous name. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I hadn't thought of it like that.
I like Damien, I'm not gonna lie. And my obstetrician, I was joking with him about something, I don't remember. Like, of course, I went to every appointment like I do. Not quite like this, but my normal wear is a little ghoulish. And he was joking that even Damien had parents. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. His mama was a jackal.
That's true.
Jackal?
That's true. Can you say jackal?
I used to be an English teacher for little children.
Oh gosh.
So for the love of horror, one of our channel members, welcome. They say he is precious, and that's absolutely true. Thank you also for gifting a membership to 17 Ninjas. By the way, guys, if you want to join the channel member. They blinked out. They blink out, but they come back, guys. See, there they are. Hello, handsome. I think you have inherited your father's skeleton.
Yes, he is dressed as a skeleton, but he's going to be taken out for a little bit. He's taken out for a walk, and hopefully he'll calm down a little. So y'all are stuck with Jareth. Oh my goodness, I was worried he would make a lot of noise. He was being so good beforehand, but that's usually what they do.
One of the best pieces of advice that I got when my son was little, this is before YouTube and stuff, because I'm ancient. I had just gotten a camera, and I would see the pictures where he was crying, or he was all red-faced, or angry, or biting his hands, and I'm like, oh, I should delete those. And they're like, no, save every single one, so that when you're older and you're looking back with all this nostalgia about how wonderful it was, you can remember that it wasn't, okay? You can remember with honesty, and I look back at that, and I actually am glad I saved those photos, because that was, part of when you're caring for somebody who's crying and throwing up on you and going full exorcist, I don't know, it just kind of endears you to them.
Yeah, I think the horror of childbirth and child rearing has actually attracted me to the job a lot more than I anticipated. I'm a fan of the television show Parks and Rec, particularly Aubrey Plaza's, her character, the dark, creepy one, and she makes reference to the horrors of pregnancy in it. And I was thinking, wow, that, does endear me to it a little bit more, I feel like. So, that's definitely been an aspect. So at first, this kid cried and cried and cried, which babies do. And I took him back to the hospital to see if they take returns. They don't.
Yeah, I tried putting mine in a box that said free critter outside a Safeway. No one took it. Granted, he was dribbling all over the place. Mine, I swear, like so much fluid would come out of this tiny creature. I'm like, where is it coming from?
Yeah, I don't think I put that much in. So it should.
I had to cut my hair because it was just constantly soaked in all the fluids. I'm like, where does this come out from? The top part or the bottom part? You're officially entering motherhood when you have to ask, is that poop or chocolate?
What could it be? I don't know. entirely, unless you actually see it come out of them, which is a whole horror onto itself.
I'm not gonna do what they do in every movie and test it. I'm just gonna nope. We're not dealing with that.
Oh gosh.
Were there
Well,
any movies that affected you, especially when you were pregnant? Because there's all these hormones and stuff going on.
So it wasn't until after, actually. Well, I mean, there was definitely movies. I was crying during my pregnancy a lot, and I'm not really the crying type. Like, movies don't usually make me cry. I watched a reel on Facebook that made me cry one day about someone adopting a wolf, and I was just I couldn't stop. But one day, it was just after I'd given birth and we were home, and my husband put on an Ice Nine Kills music video where Art the Clown is taking a baby out of a woman.
That is so intense.
Yeah, I know.
And
I didn't even
woman who was in the first Terrifier movie, I think.
Catherine Wolfman, yeah.
And I couldn't take it. I don't know why. I mean, I had a really hard birth and labor and all of that experience. A great pregnancy though. Like I loved being pregnant. My grandmother had 11 children, and I could see why, because pregnancy was wonderful for me. My sister's pregnant right now, and she's had a go of it. So, but yeah, this I don't know, the music video was just making me like feel sick and scared, and then I had nightmares that night about it.
Wow.
I didn't
Here,
even
let me
think.
try.
Sure.
Let me try.
I didn't even think, you put on these videos, and I thought, oh, it's really horrific. I wanted to show her.
I did the same thing with my partner, with Danny. I was like, oh, have you seen the new Ice Nine Kills video? It's rad.
Right? I know. And
my son's 21, guys, so like I don't have those problems anymore.
Did you have any that bothered you when you were pregnant?
They're really bizarre though. So for one, just to date myself here, the quadrilogy of Alien had just come out on DVD, and I had been looking forward to this for months. I got home, I'm watching it, and then I started having like a panic attack. I'm crying. I'm like, oh my god, it's like I was thinking about how it's gonna come out. I'm like, it's gonna like burst out, and it's like not natural.
Oh, no.
And I was like crying. And then another time, I was watching Scooby-Doo the movie. And it's really ridiculous, but like when the music especially seemed to affect me, but I was like, it's so beautiful how well they're working together. And I was like bawling. And then Cabin Fever, I was inconsolable when they put her in the shed. I was like, I can't believe they did that just because she's sick. And like you, I never cry. I'm like, oh, that's a bummer about Old Yeller. Oh, my girl, be a sock. I don't cry. So it was really weird.
Strange.
Yeah.
You don't feel like you have control of your like emotions, and I'm not used to that experience. So it definitely, I was surprised by how many things bothered me. And now, like, it's not as bad now. Now I'm like 3 months postpartum, so it's not the same experience. But at the beginning, like anything where a mom and their baby were like separated, or like even we were watching, oh god, this is the worst, but we were watching the
Hand That Rocks the Cradle? Is it?
Not the Hand That Rocks. Oh, there was an aspect of the new Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
I haven't seen that yet.
Okay, it's not a spoiler at all, but the one character.
I've seen the original.
Okay.
What was the original that really?
No, it was it was in the new one, and the one woman just puts a baby down, and the baby's crying and crawling towards her, like trying to be comforted, and I'm just like, oh, pick up that baby, like.
I know. I remember. Have you ever seen the movie AI, the Steven Spielberg movie? They create this AI.
Maybe a long time
robot type. It's Haley Joel Osment, because I think they lost a kid or they couldn't have kids. I can't remember which. But then eventually they had a kid, and he was like in a coma. And so they did this to kind of grieve. Then he gets better, and they just discard him, and he's like calling for his mom, and I was like so upset.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, well, that stuff affects you a lot more when you're a mom, I think.
It was Monster, the Ed Gein story, and we were watching that. and it's the last episode, and like they're like he's reminiscing about his mom and all of this, and I felt emotional, and I'm like, it's Ed Gein, get it together, Ghoul, come on.
I know you like when I was a kid, I would watch things like Leatherface, and I was like, that's so sad. Like I feel like if he had one good friend, or Jason, if he had a good friend who got him, and now I'm like, oh baby, like if that was my son, like I would kill everyone too.
Right?
Throw
Just
my
like, no,
boy. Exact. As a dad, are you having these experiences, Kevin?
You know what? I am. There, you'll see things in movies, and you know, if a kid gets hurt, or it really does start to affect you after what, you know, you think, wow, what if that were my son? And I wouldn't want that to happen to my son. Like it really does. You think about feeling if somebody, you know, loses a child or in a film, and you're like, you know, it hits harder than it ever did.
It really does. And I feel like that's one of the things about horror that's so great, is it helps us kind of deal with these really intense fears. And I think once you have children, the most intense fear you can have is that something would happen to your own child. Stephen King had nightmares because he lived by a busy highway that his youngest son Owen had been hit by a semi, and that's what led him to create Pet Sematary. And
Oh wow.
And that's how he dealt with it. And that one especially, it's so hard to watch, you know, what happens to their son, or movies like The Orphanage. Like it's just
I haven't seen that. That's on our list though.
Wait till he's older.
Oh.
Put it off. It's a Guillermo del Toro. It's amazing, but dude, it's gonna the heart.
It was in the was it the 101 greatest scary movie moments?
Yeah, we loved that one. That was on Shudder. I don't know if you saw that, but it was 101 greatest moments in horror or something like that, and it was amazing. We love all those. We are such nerds for any documentary, especially on horror.
Too. Yes. That's one of the reasons why I love physical media so much, is that you have all the special features, and I have to watch every single commentary. Like the movie ends, I'm like, oh, let's watch the special features. And everyone's like, no, let's not do that.
The special effects.
Bad movie. I want to watch the special features. I'm like, tell me how you made it.
Yeah, they just have, I think, Prime, the Mean one. I don't know if you saw that. Mean one with David. Well, they actually have a documentary on Prime now that talks about how they got the movie made, and apparently they had to jump through so many hoops because of the licensing and right. So apparently it's really good. I actually want to watch it at Christmas time because I think it could be
that's really cool. So I have to ask, because I don't think I've ever heard the story of how you guys met. I assume it was a full moon.
Yes. I was a sacrificing virgin,
and I just stumbled upon him for it.
And I was going to sacrifice him, but I thought he was kind of cute, so I kept him. So, no, actually, we met in high school. We're dating ourselves, and we were both theater kids. I know you'd never know that to look at. But we were theater kids, and we kind of ran with some of the same circles and kind of became friends like that. And one of my best memories of high school at all was one weekend my mom went away to go visit her friend in the city, and I was having a sleepover with one of my best gal pals, and we were on MSN Messenger, if anyone remembers that.
I remember that, and ICQ.
Yeah.
And we were talking to Kevin, who was at his house without his parents, and he had a friend over visiting as well. And he was going, hey, you guys should come over. You should come over and hang out. Come on, come over. And it's like late at night, and his friend drove all the way 25 minutes out in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the country house. And they picked us up and took us back to Kevin's parents' house. And we all curled up in his bed together, turned off all the lights, and watched 13 Ghosts.
Yes! Oh, that's a fun movie. That is a fun movie.
It is. My first DVD I ever owned was 13 Ghosts. I was so excited for that movie, and it was just, it was awesome, because I loved House on Haunted Hill so much.
Me too. I loved it.
I loved the whole Dark Castle era.
Yeah.
Where his son was remaking his dad's movies, the William Castle movies. I don't think they get enough credit. I love House of Wax. I love all of those.
Loved House of Wax.
And the logo was even beautiful. Like everything. I was here for those movies. Loved them.
Too.
Go shit. They were all fun.
Yeah, love
Best
that
opening of a horror movie.
Yes, that not falling Mudvayne song. So good.
My jaw hit the floor. I remember seeing that movie for the first time.
Other people's did too.
Yeah.
Hi, Jareth. Sorry, I'm so distracted by the cute baby. I just want to.
No. I hope he starts being cute and stops
He
being
is adorable. Does he have a spooky bedroom? I assume you guys would decorate the nursery in like a super spooky way.
Well, not just yet. Unfortunately, we have a tiny little apartment right now. We are hoping to move soon, so his stuff is literally everywhere. But one of the first pieces of decor, a friend of ours made this amazing image out of beads, and it is the cartoon of Beetlejuice.
Oh, wow.
And that was like the first piece of decor that we're going to put up in his room when he finally has his own room. But people just made us so much stuff.
That is so cool.
Fun.
And you have Etsy and so many stores now that make cool stuff for babies. Like, aside from actual Halloween, when I had my son in the early 2000s, I remember being so excited. I found a Spider-Man onesie, which now that's like relatively common. But I mean, aside from like Winnie the Pooh stuff, there wasn't really any cute stuff for kids back then. But now, because like fandom has just exploded, there's so much neat stuff.
And again, you get to support like actual small artists and small businesses. That's what I love. But we still, even as a result, had trouble finding things that weren't online, like in person. Now, I was really thankful for actually Old Navy at Halloween.
Yeah.
I've got him, like, that's the onesie he's wearing now. I feel like, okay, quick little fashion show. Hopefully no screaming. Okay, here we are.
Hi, baby. So handsome.
This was the same onesie he wore to come home
All
from
bones.
the hospital. And then I bought it in a bigger size. I think I bought it in another size too, so that he can keep wearing it. But I loved their Halloween onesies there. But yeah, if it wasn't Halloween stuff, the like kid options, like in person, were not great. And even so, when I was pregnant, I was trying to find some, kind of creepy maternity clothes. And it was a struggle. And one of the ladies at, we have Torrid here in Canada. I'm pretty sure in the US.
Yeah, I love Torrid. Torrid's awesome.
Me too. And at least it's too expensive. It's just far too expensive. But at least you could get some cute stuff.
Yeah.
And I was joking with the one lady about how, like, I'm pregnant and there's no creepy maternity stores. And she said, it's as if goth chicks don't get pregnant. And I was like, right?
We just lay eggs and then they hatch. My mother found me beneath a gooseberry bush.
That's. I mean, mine was in a cabbage patch, but it was at night. It was dark.
Yeah. Creepy cabbage patch.
But Kevin was joking that we should open a maternity store for creepy people called Rosemary's Babies.
I love that. That's genius, Kevin. That's genius.
Thank you. I don't even remember saying it.
You guys could have baby clothes and stuff. That would be really cool.
There might have been a couple here, and I said that.
It would have been great though, like to have some kind of access to that. So I got creative, I had to come up with some ideas, but trying to get cool baby stuff. Again, we really relied on other people. On my shower, he got more than one Baphomet doll.
I love this.
We were joking, baby's first Baphomet. So we call the one that he plays with the most Baffy. And that's like probably going to be his big first toy that he's attached to, is a little Baphomet, Baffy.
My son had a Mickey Mouse stuffy he loved, and he had this tiny little squirrel beanie baby, and its name was Nuts, but he'd constantly be going around going, Mom, I can't find my nuts. He was always under the bed, in case you're wondering.
Oh, gosh.
But he needed Mickey and Nuts every night.
I had a Joker stuffy. Very
cool.
It was Joker from the Batman from 1989, I believe.
So the Jack Nicholson.
Nicholson Joker. And I was terrified of that Joker. Like, I was just...
But you had the stuffy?
Terrified. But that was my rationale. So because I had the stuffy and I slept with him and held him, he couldn't get me because I already had him. Like, he was already there and I didn't have to be scared of him. And this is like, as a kid, I rationalized this. And I think that that probably has so much to do with my love of things that terrify me even now. Just sort of accepting it and being like, as long as I keep it close, it can't hurt me.
Yes.
I hope
better the enemy you know. Did you have a special stuffy as a child, Kevin?
Nothing actually terrifying. I had a Land Before Time Littlefoot.
That's so cool. That's so sad.
I didn't, you know, and she talks about like Batman 89 and the Joker, and yeah, I was more afraid of like that type of thing when I was a kid. I didn't, you know, get into that until later. I loved the Universal monsters, and I loved all of that. Dad showed me all of those, and I loved the Wolfman. They were terrifying to me then, but yeah, any of the newer horror things, my one aunt on my dad's side, she would try to show me movies like Teen Wolf, for instance, and it terrified me. In a movie called The Stuff. I don't know if you've ever seen
I love The Stuff. I think I have a Stuff up here. Oh, there it is on top of these books. The Stuff.
Oh, yeah, The Stuff. Yeah, and my aunt would show me these things, and it's funny, right? And there's the whole political, you know, like the whole political stuff undertones and stuff. Didn't get that. I just remember seeing this stuff and coming out of people's eyes and mouths and the fridge, and that terrified me. So I took a long time to kind of get into the horror scene, and then, but yeah.
Yeah, you took a little bit longer, but once you did, he knows all of the facts. He knows the dates for movies, like all kinds of stuff like that.
I can't remember anyone's phone number, but I can tell you what year a movie came out.
I'm the same way, or I remember an actor's face, or I remember like,
you can remember. It's because your brain has to dump other information to make room for horror knowledge.
You need to know how to tell
childhood memories. Dump that. High school math? Nah. Get rid of it. We have to remember all the facts about The Exorcist.
Well, one of our favorite things to do as a couple is to watch a movie and then read the trivia on IMDb afterwards.
Oh, fun. Though sometimes the trivia is inaccurate. I pride myself on there was inaccurate information about Leprechaun, which it really is annoying because if you listen to the commentary, they tell you that the whole urban legend about Lucky Charms is an urban legend. That it didn't happen, but it's on IMDb, and I'd heard it in so many reviews because they just took it off of IMDb. But then I signed up and I became an IMDb librarian, and I fixed it.
Thank you for your dedication to our community. What's the legend? I don't know it. Please tell us.
The legend was because at one point he pulls out the cereal box and you see Lucky Charms. That originally, some people believed that Lucky Charms was supposed to, they were going to have it in the movie, and Lucky Charms got really mad because like it was going to be like a gag in there. And so since they couldn't use that, they have the kid at the end when he's going to kill the leprechaun say, "Fuck you, Lucky Charms." That it was like an FU because they wouldn't let them use Lucky Charms during the kitchen scene. But it never happened.
Oh.
See,
I
didn't hear it in tons of reviews, and it never happened.
Isn't that funny? And like some of those things just kind of become, like almost urban legends around films, and people just believe it, and then you pass it on. And I mean, back in the day, we didn't have access to IMDb when we were first fans. Right. It was like stuff that you shared on the playground.
I remember my friends told me that in the movie 3 Men and a Baby, that there was a kid who had died on set, and there's one scene where you can see a figure behind a curtain. They're like, that's the kid. It's a Ted Danson cutout. But we didn't have the internet to look it up. So I believed that for years.
And I saw it, I think, on YouTube, and I saw that whole urban, and I said, "Oh my god, like there is a little kid," and then I read that, I'm like, "Oh, okay." It wasn't.
So,
but speaking of 3 Men and a Baby,
go ahead.
So when we got together, we were talking. I don't know how it even came up in conversation, but she was saying, you know, she did some like baby modeling as a kid and stuff like that.
Which is true. I
true.
did. I did the Sears catalog, and I also did a couple advertisements. I was in a baby pageant. I was like a cute baby, I guess.
So she's telling me all of these things.
Which all of that is accurate. I just want to preface this by saying that is true.
Is it?
It did happen.
Because then she goes on to say, well, you know the movie Three Men and a Baby? And I said, yeah. She said, well, I'm the baby.
Nuh-uh.
And I said, really? And she said, yes. She said, I'm the baby. I said, the movie with Ted Danson, Tom says. She said, yeah. I don't. And she's telling. So I proceeded to tell people. So people I saw, like, you know, yeah, Amy Jane is the baby. In Three Men and a Baby. And then she comes, like, I told her, I said, you know, oh yeah, I was telling people. She said, you didn't tell anybody that, did you? I said, yeah. She said, you know, I'm just fucking with you. I'm like, that's
Hilarious. Yeah, that's another urban legend, is that the nerdy kid from Wonder Years was Marilyn Manson. There were so many of these back in the day. And you couldn't verify them. You just passed them. In fact, one from my town that I don't know anybody else who's ever heard this, but someone told me that Freddy Krueger was real, and the reason why his face looks like that is because his mom hit him in the face with a frying pan, and I just believed that for years. I hadn't seen the movie. So like there's just so many things like that, like that just get passed around, and now with the internet you can debunk things a lot more easily. But yeah, It's crazy. So we kind of heard how Kevin, you got into horror with like the Universal monsters and stuff, which is the same here.
Yeah.
I've been surprised. My mom introduced me all to that, to all of that. Amy, isn't your mom's really spooky too? How did she raise you into horror?
Well, actually, interestingly, her mother, and like that was my grandma, and we're talking prim and proper British lady, loved horror films. She was also into the murder mysteries, big on the murder mysteries. But she loved horror films, so she got my mom into those when my mom was young. And my uncle, her brother, was really into horror and monsters like Godzilla and the Universal monsters. So she started really early, but she was terrified of them too. Particularly the Blob really scared my mom, and Bela Lugosi. And her rationale
is your
was,
mom from England too?
No, she's just, she was born in Canada, but my grandmother was prim and proper.
Oh, that's cool. I was born in England. I grew up there.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
No,
I'm a dual citizen. My dad was in the Air Force, and that's how he met my mom. And yeah, so my grandma, everybody is English.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Well, so Kevin's got Irish family, and then I've got English and Scottish in mine. So yeah, we're Canadian, but we're very British as well.
I love it.
But yeah, so my mom, like when I was really young, introduced me to horror, and one of my like favorite memories of childhood was watching Dracula from 1992. Sandwiched between my grandmother and my mom, and I was terrified but also like enamored, and I couldn't take my eyes off the screen, and it remains one of my favorite movies of all time.
I remember that when it came out, it was my birthday, and we had to go to 6 different video stores to find it because every video store was out. I'm like, no, I need it for my birthday. Otherwise, like, I'm just gonna be despondent in my room all day. I was a goth.
Did you love it?
I loved it. Oh my gosh, and the Annie Lennox song at the end. But I watched it, and I'm like, that's the most romantic movie ever. You know,
right? It's a romance. Like, yes, okay, it's horror, it's horrific. Particularly I'm really scared of werewolves. I don't know why, but they scare me. And the kind of werewolfy beast creature that he is when he's taking
poor Lucy.
Yeah, I was like really like not the rat creature, bat thing that he is later, but that werewolf. Oh, I was so scared of him.
That was scary.
I wanted to see that movie so bad when it was in the theater. Because I saw the trailers. They freaked me out, but I wanted to see it because I love Dracula and I thought it looked great. So I remember going to see Muppets Christmas Carol.
Oh, that's such a good one.
Right, so I never seen Muppets Christmas Carol, and it was still the end of Dracula was playing in the theater across.
Yeah?
door was open, and I remember looking. I remember seeing Anthony Hopkins, and then he was going Dracula after he throws the head. And I was just like, I gotta see this movie when it comes out, and I did actually do a video. And it scared me, of course, but I was, yeah. So I always will remember when Dracula came out and was sandwiched between Muppets Christmas Carol.
That's
Somehow
amazing. That's so
always
cool.
connected.
Yeah, that is such a good movie. It's so cool and just so beautiful. Like, I love the scene with like the horses, which he took from like, he was homaging like Black Sunday, and the cemetery scene, which is kind of homaging The Omen. Like, he put so many little horror homages in it, and just I love them. Like, you are such a freaking nerd, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
So good. I love that Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder actually got married during that movie, because that was a real priest. So now today they still kind of joke about how they're married. It's crazy.
I love it. And I feel like people give both of them, a hard time for their accents and their performances in that movie. And I'm like, maybe it was because I saw it so young, but I was spellbound. There was no part of me that was going, oh my God, Bill and Ted, excellent. Like, I wasn't. I was here for it. I believed every moment of that film. And even the theme song still like I feel like I get a visceral reaction when that dun starts. Like,
it's just the music is so powerful. So
it's just excellent. It is still, again, one of my top favorite movies, and I was really excited for Nosferatu coming out last year, but we didn't see it until the beginning of this year, which was incidentally the very first movie I saw in the theater while pregnant with this little fella. Was Nosferatu, and it was beautiful. It did remind me though of Dracula, and I do still like Dracula better, but Nosferatu was beautiful, and it
dropped dong, so that was cool.
I was just gonna say, we got to see it.
You and I were separated at birth, and the British thing just confirms it. Separated at birth. That's crazy. I remember the first movie after my son was born, and my son was sick. He was very sick, so I was so reluctant to leave his side ever. He'd been in the hospital a lot. Finally, he's doing a bit better, and the Grudge remake came out. Not the newest Grudge remake. We're talking Sarah Michelle Gellar, right?
Oh yeah.
And I really wanted to see it because I liked the original so much. So we got a sitter, and then of course it's all about like a little kid who's like been killed and stuff. Like the whole movie, I'm just like I wasn't crying in that one. Like I wasn't pregnant anymore, but I was very upset and just wanted to go home to my son. I'm telling you, dude, having kids, it changes you.
It really, it was right after we were watching any film, and I swear, it just kept being, like, topics of lactation and pregnant. I'm like,
did you see Barbarian?
Which one?
Barbarian,
yeah. I feel like I should give you a list of fun movies and movies to avoid. Okay.
Yeah,
fun, Barbarian. Avoid, Inside. Avoid.
And see, I had that I literally made a list of horror pregnancy movies to watch while I was pregnant, because of course I did. And Inside was on there, and I never got to it. And I believe that it takes place on Christmas Eve, if I'm not mistaken.
It does.
So now I have it on my Christmas list, and I'm like, is it one that I really... Maybe not this year. Maybe it'll be a next year kind of movie.
Yeah.
VHS, the first VHS Halloween.
Yeah.
There's that first segment on it, and
that was fun. That's a good one. I love the makeup prosthetics they did on everyone to give them those fat baby cheeks.
Yeah, it was really good, but it was bizarre. I think that was my favorite of that.
I liked that, and the candy one where they get sucked into a portal.
I love the candy. It was so surreal.
It was so funny. And I've actually, as a avid lover of Halloween, and even before Trick or Treat, I've always been like, there are rules. Like, I was the Randy of Halloween. I was the Randy of pretty much everything. But I was like, no, if it says take one, you take one, and you mosey on. Like, I would police other kids. I'm like, no, dog. You take one. So, like, I love that because Trick or Treat didn't cover that. They covered a lot of things, like leaving the jack-o'-lantern and all that stuff, but they did not cover that you do only take one.
Well, we plan to use Trick or Treat actually as an important part of raising our child.
Yes.
So this was your idea.
Oh my God, bless his sweet heart. Look at his little face. Oh my God,
Yeah,
he's dreaming about wonderful
So-
Canadian things.
We want to for Halloween night. We want to kind of have Sam be like a Santa figure for Halloween night. So if you're good and you respect the rules of Halloween and you're good to everybody, that Sam will come to you on Halloween night. You leave your jack-o'-lantern lit,
That's so
whatever.
sweet.
He'll come and he'll leave you maybe a little present, some
Or
candies,
some treats.
some
yeah,
treats.
something.
We see him very much like a Santa figure, like he polices Halloween, and so I said, hey, let's do that. And we've got a friend, our friend Steve, who has a whole Sam costume, so he can dress up like Sam whenever, and we can get it. Yeah, so we're
That's
gonna do that.
really clever. And have you guys seen? I mean, you guys love special features, so there's that. I think it's called Season's Greetings. It's a little cartoon short on the
Yeah.
Trick or Treat Blu-ray. Before my son was old enough to watch the movie, I did show it to him a little early, and when Sam reveals his actual face, that was a little too much for him. But he loved the cartoon for a long time. Hi, Jareth. He's like half asleep, like what?
We call it jazz hands.
Jazz
He does these, just in his sleep. There's a reaction response or something they call it, but we call it his jazz
Yeah.
hands.
I read about that, and I don't know how true it is, but apparently, like, you can tickle a baby's hand or their foot, and they will reach out, and it's supposed to be like this ingrained instinct that babies had from like caveman days. Like if there was like a wolf or something, they would grab onto their mother's belly so they could be taken away to safety. I don't know how true that is, but I think it's interesting.
To try it, I'm telling you.
I love that you guys are gonna do that though. That's so cool. I love that.
Well,
You're making your own traditions.
I love that. Yeah, like we want to have, like we are also already had a
Some
tradition.
great ideas, Kevin. Seriously.
Oh, thank you. Well, it was so Trick or Treat means so much to me because I remember before it was even released, they played it in Toronto. I think it was part of Toronto After Dark Film Festival, and my cousin had tickets for both of us to go see it at the Bloor Cinema, which used to be this really old, like just a really old cinema house, and they were doing it. Well, this freak storm came through, and it took all the hydro in the west end of Toronto out. And luckily, so we thought it wasn't going to be playing, that they were going to cancel. We got there; they had a generator. They were one of the only places that had hydro left, so we got to see Trick or Treat. And I just fell in love with the entire movie. And so I was waiting forever for it to actually come out. So it will come out on DVD. It took years. And I think that was 2007, but I think that's when it started.
Yeah, because it was in production hell, and then it had all kinds of difficulties coming out. And it is one that, like, now it's so celebrated, but for the longest time, I feel like nobody knew about this film.
I hadn't heard about it. There was kind of a period when my son was really little where I just didn't watch a lot of movies because my son was like, my son was pretty sick. But Trick or Treat, Danny actually introduced me to that one on DVD, and I'm like, I've never even heard of this. What is this? It's got Anna Paquin in it and stuff, and I just instantly loved it. Now it's one of my favorites, but yeah, for me, that flew right under the radar.
Right,
So
yeah.
And it was my friend Steve, who has the Trick or Treat costume, who introduced me to it. And I'll never forget, it was like a couple days before Halloween one year. And he was like, hey, I have this movie. Want to come over and watch it? And we turned out the lights. And I remember, like, it was a windy night and the leaves were flying everywhere. And it just started, and it had that intro at the very beginning. And I was just like, I love this. Like, I don't even need to watch any more to know that I love this. So it became very important to us. And I see we have the comment that we need to celebrate Halloween harder as a society. I'm assuming that as a reference.
No, you guys are doing great. You great parenting. You're doing it right.
What about Paul's first Halloween?
Yeah.
Do you
have any? I do have it. So my son's born in September, so he was like a month old. So the first year I didn't really make him do anything. We just like passed out candy and stuff. The next year I was like, well, I should get him like a little costume or something. And I was looking for something that would fit him. So I found this adorable little duck costume, and I thought it was really warm. Like, I put all this thought into it because I didn't want him to be cold, and he absolutely hated it. He hated it. So instead, he wore his Superman pajamas, and that's what I did for like the first 3 years. Is I would just find pajamas that were kind of like costumes. So he had like a Batman one. The next year we did that for a while until finally he was like, this year I want to be Batman with muscles. And then we got him an actual costume. But yeah, he loved Halloween. Really fun.
That's good. Yeah, like, I mean, it's one of those things that we have such positive memories of Halloween. But, like, again, we're in Canada, so you have to plan to wear your Halloween costume over top of a snowsuit. Like, that's
Yes.
kind of like what Halloween is here. And of course, his very first Halloween, we had a blizzard. That's just, and like it was nice every day up until the 31st, and then
Ah.
just like, hand of God. And I'm
And I
like,
felt so sorry for all the trick-or-treaters, and it seems to happen here like more often than not. It's either a really cold rain or it's like really bad snow, and yeah, so you have to wear your snowsuit over top of your costume. There were so many times I remember as a kid being like, oh, this really, ruins the whole aesthetic of the costume.
But that's why the pajamas are a
That
great
is a
idea.
great
I
idea.
might steal your idea
Yeah.
there.
Go for it. When I was a kid, I lived on an Air Force base. So on base, we celebrated Halloween. But like I remember one year we were at my grandma's house, and in England we don't celebrate Halloween. So my mom got us like bags of candy and turtle mask, and it was the lamest ever. But then we moved to America when I was about 10. I'm like, oh heck yeah, dude! We're gonna Halloween it up in America. Yeah, there's a blizzard. I live in Washington State, so it's about as cold. Oh, not quite Canada cold, but pretty close. Yeah, there was I was like, they have snow here in October? Like, what is this place? Here I am in my Roger Rabbit costume, just freezing my little tail off. But yeah, it was crazy.
Rabbit, excellent choice.
Yeah, what a great choice.
So that's my favorite movie. Like,
That's
whenever
my favorite movie. Shut the front door. I have VHS right here. That is like my religion. I have told my son all the time, like what Roger Rabbit says. He's like, you could have gotten out of those handcuffs the whole time. He's like, no, only when it's funny. So like I always say, well, if it's funny, and I mean it's funny for everybody, like it's not fun to make fun of people, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Oh,
That's how I live my life.
Good to have.
Yeah.
Well, it was the very first movie that my mom took me to as a child, and she didn't know what I was gonna do, and she brought like I guess a bag of toys and stuff to entertain me and treats, and I just sat there with my mouth open the entire time, and I've been obsessed ever since. Now, I went to film school, and I always joked at film school that when people ask you your favorite movie, particularly like if you are working in academia or if you are like a film critic or a reviewer like you, like anything like that, that you have your street cred favorite film.
Yes.
So that's the favorite film you tell people that, is like my respectable favorite film. And then you have your real favorite film. And for my street cred one, I would always say Gone with the Wind, because I was literally a child and obsessed with that movie.
That was my grandma's favorite movie. She loved that, and she would always like how my grandmother was quoting movies before like it was a thing, but she would always do that, Ashley. And she had also loved Somewhere in Time, so she'd grip my arm and go, "Come back to me!" Like she was awesome.
Oh, I love it. I love that this like fandom is like a familial thing to you.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
wonderful. Grandmas just know. They just know. I'm telling you. Well, but I always said that Who Framed Roger Rabbit was my actual favorite film. And I was in film school and somebody said to me, you don't have to be like ashamed of that being your favorite film, because it was a technical marvel for its time. And like now you've even mentioned, like due to all the copyrights, we could never have a film like that happen again. Like it
No.
just, it
I
could.
mean, we had the
There's
Lego
not-
movie, which
That's
it extended
I
so
love
many
the Lego.
copyrights. So
I befriended a kid by singing the song from the Lego movie at a wreath making workshop last year. And I was just singing it, and he goes, "You know that movie?" I'm like, "I love that movie." And then he made me a wreath.
yeah, I have Who Framed Roger Rabbit on VHS right over here. So like that's great. I love that movie so
I
much.
have it on VHS too. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had it
love
on
to see
Yeah,
VHS.
I was always kind of. I think my two like. When I would tell people, I'd be like, "Oh, Fright Night," because I think Fright Night's a respectable answer that most people respect, or An American Werewolf in London, or Scream. Scream's a pretty safe answer, and it's definitely my top 5. But realistically, my favorite horror movie is The Craft. My favorite movie of all time is Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and now I just don't care because I'm in my 40s and I don't care.
Excellent. I mean, that's such a hard thing to ask a horror fan, like, what's your favorite horror movie? And you're just like, I've literally spent so much time trying to figure that out and know exactly. For the longest time I'd say Suspiria, because it felt like the street cred one.
Yeah, respectable.
Yeah, you probably never seen this Italian film.
Yeah.
You'd be intimidated by trying to watch it. And then rewatching it years later, I'm like, I mean, I love this movie, but it's not my favorite.
For a while, even amongst horror fans, like The Craft was like anything from the 90s aside from Scream was considered to be like, oh, like that's lowbrow horror. So like I would be so embarrassed to be like The Craft, but I don't care, it's The Craft. Though, Kevin, you said Scream. Look at my new phone case.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah.
And I got the pop socket. No! Annie! What the hell? What the? Separated at birth. That's insane. That is insane.
And I literally said, I'm like, Scream or Halloween? Scream or Halloween? And I was humming and hawing and ended up with Halloween.
I did Scream or The Craft, but I decided to go Scream because I really love this particular case. I have this VHS over there too. I love this one with Drew Barrymore on it. It's so cool.
Oh, it's so good.
But Halloween is good too. Like I actually want to get more so I can switch them out.
Oh, that's a good idea. Oh God, I would do them for the holidays, and then for like anniversary of something being released.
Or you go to a con and like you use your Halloween one if it's a Halloween person's in it, but you can switch up to.
That's
Scream.
your outfit. I love it. So speaking of Scream, I was in the hospital longer than I expected when I had this little one, and the hospital is like a 5-minute walk from my house. So my brother-in-law says that I'm a dinosaur because I have a portable DVD player, and I will take it with me like on an airplane or to a hotel because I like to watch movies.
Yeah.
And I literally made a giant Ziploc baggie of a bunch of DVDs to take with us. And the very first movie that we watched after he was born, so technically the first movie he would have seen, although he slept like this through it, was Scream. That was the first one we put on.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's right. So I feel like some things do make an impression even on babies. So here's some interesting stuff. One, I worked in a Payless shoes. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this in Canada, but it's a shoe store. And my particular Payless was in a Shopko. So just think like a department store. Anyway, they played a lot of like old school. I mean, it was good music, but like the Temptations and stuff. My son insisted on that music to sleep to, like all through being a baby and a toddler. Like that's some of his favorite music. And I feel like it's because I worked there and he heard it in the womb all the time. Here's the other thing. So I had to have bed rest for about a month before he was born. And one of the things my partner got me was Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed because I loved this movie. And I would be, I couldn't get out of bed. So I would just push play when it ended. And then I kind of had the same habit after my son was born, where I was just watching this. It was like a comfort movie, And his absolute favorite thing to this day is Scooby-Doo. And I wonder did I laser it into his brain? Right?
Oh, interesting.
It was just there. You couldn't help it.
He writes for the Scooby-Doo wiki. He is obsessed with all things Scooby-Doo. He's watched every single movie, single like series that's ever been created. Like he's massively into Scooby-Doo. And that's another thing is I used to put that on for him a lot when he was little because I thought that was a cool way to introduce him into liking spooky stuff and mysteries and, that kind of thing. But it's also kind of cool because they unmask them at the end. So it's like, don't worry, just, except for like Zombie Island. But yeah. Have you guys started introducing Jareth to anything? Oh my God, look at his freaking face. I can't even.
I know, he's just passed right out cold.
Oh, he's so cute.
I'll take it. It's my favorite when he sleeps.
My mom would tell me all the time, like, put him down. I'm like, no, because now he's all sweet and snuggly. So I would just hold him while I was watching a movie.
Aw. Well, we've kind of talked about how we're going to go about doing introductions because we were like, I watched a lot of horror as a kid, but I was actually scared. Like, and you were scared.
Very scared. Yeah, like I couldn't watch any.
So we're going to follow his cue. I think we're going to let him sort of decide what works for him and what does scare him or doesn't scare him. I think that's probably the best way to go about this. But you already mentioned Universal Monsters, and
I think that's good. That's what my mom did, and Vincent Price. Like I just loved all that. Anything from the black and white era is pretty safe. I mean, during the Hays Code, they didn't really do anything too scandalous. So Not a lot of
And
blood
I
and
think
gore. It's in black and white. Also, the Addams Family, like the original show. I remember my son when I first started showing it to him. He's like, "Oh, but, this is in black and white. It's an old show." And then there was one scene where Fester was like, "You're never gonna take me alive," and then he became obsessed with it. He thought it was so funny. So, like,
I
that's like a
love
good one. It's wholesome. And I love that too because the Addams Family shows that, a lot of people make assumptions about horror fans, about people who are goth, that they're creepy or that, they're into weird stuff. But honestly, most goth people and horror fans I know are pretty freaking wholesome. And I think you see that in the Addams Family. Like, they have a genuinely healthy, happy marriage. They adore their children. They don't always get their children. Why's Pugsley got to join the Boy Scouts? That's weird. Why does he want a dog? He's got a perfectly good octopus, but they love their children.
Oh, geez. I am getting a phone call from my doctor, so I'm going to take that super quickly, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Here.
Absolutely.
Sleeping baby.
Yes.
I will, carefully. I
baby
will
was
return
switched to the hospital. That's what's going on.
It's just me now.
Hey, Kevin!
Hey, Gory.
So you got a little freaked out as a kid by horror movies.
Oh, I did, yeah. One of the ones that really freaked me out, and it was a family movie, and I remember watching it, was Mr. Boogedy, which is one of my favorites to this day. Yeah, Disney, it was a TV movie. Oh,
it's okay, Jareth.
It was a little TV movie, and yeah, I absolutely loved it, but it terrified me so badly as a kid. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but
I haven't. But yeah, I mean, some of the scary stuff I saw was kids' movies.
And it was back in Disney's, they had
remember
that
Watcher in the Woods?
Yeah,
that movie was
had
so creepy.
Yeah, they just had this phase where they went through these really, really creepy films.
Dark
that
Cauldron or Black Cauldron?
Yeah, all of that. And I just remember it stuck with me, and but I absolutely loved it. So it was a good gateway, I think, because Mr. Boogedy was really, really was terrifying. It's
kind of funny. Like Danny says the dark crystal scared him, and the funniest thing is him and I both have a very similar memory. Like, so my parents just watched horror movies around me, and so that's one thing I will say. Because at first the babies don't really pay attention and stuff, but at a certain point you will remember something. And I had to have been like 2. I just remember a flash of them watching a movie with a school bus on it, and it goes into like a weird volcano area, and I had nightmares about this for years. And it was the beginning of A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. And I don't remember the movie or anything, just snippets of that scene. Yeah, so that's something I guess I would caution. Because even before you're really forming memories.
And I remember something.
Yeah.
Exactly. Things really stick with you. And actually, it's funny you mentioned A Nightmare on Elm Street, because I remember just the trailer, I believe it was for Part 2, coming on TV. And that was my introduction to Freddy. I began to know who Freddy was from that trailer, but he was the boogeyman to me. I was like, there's no way I could ever watch this. But people were watching Freddy, even like, that were about my age at around, I don't know, grade 3 or 4, and they knew who Freddy was, and they'd watch it, and I'm like, I couldn't watch that'll terrify me. And it wasn't until after I saw Scream in high school, somebody lent me the whole series of Nightmare on Elm Street, and I watched it, and I could appreciate it. And I mean, I found it scary, but not like I would have when I was a kid. Like,
I think it's fun to be scared, but you kind of have to go at your own pace. Like, I used to be terrified. I loved, like, my mom basically, so here's some good advice. What my mom would do with me is, because she loved scary movies and stuff, and I'd ask her questions. She'd read me like bits of spooky books and stuff, and I'd be like, one of them was Carrie. I really wanted to see Carrie, and I was little. And she's like, okay, here's exactly what's going to happen. There's going to be, girls who are naked in a locker room. They're going to be really mean to another girl. Someone's going to die. She would basically break down every scary thing in there. Can you handle this? Now, yes, there were times I said I could handle it, and I could not handle it, like Pet Cemetery, but I would never let her know. Like, so sometimes it was a little too scary, but you kind of get through. But I did think that was good, because she told me exactly what was going to happen. So, like,
that's a good way to do it, yeah. And then you're prepared for it, because you don't know what's going to end up scaring a child. Like, we've kind of talked about, I argue that Jurassic Park has horror elements. I will die on this hill. I don't hair.
I love that you said that because my son really wanted to see that, and he's pretty small, and I'm like, it's too grisly. So I cut him I got the inspiration from the movie Cabin Fever because they have the family version, which is like 2 minutes from the very beginning on the DVD. So I made him the kid version of Jurassic Park, which is all the fun stuff and like the Brachiosaurus and stuff. Cut out all the T-Rex stuff, and so he had like a 15-minute version of Jurassic Park that he adored. I also cut out the stuff that would be boring, like, you know, just adults talking and no dinosaurs. But he was like, "Oh, I love Jurassic Park." He didn't see the whole thing until later. So
wow, that's good.
That's an excellent idea.
I had my own cuts.
You can make Terrifier.
I could
You
make
could. I mean, you really could.
2 minutes long. 2 minute long.
Just him sitting in the pizzeria.
Yeah.
That's it.
And you guys said something really smart too. I think, Amy, you said, like, you know, listening to your kids is really smart. So, because the things that scare me are not the things that scare my son. We have very different upbringings. My son has a medical condition, and the thing that ended up scaring him, he was like 11, and we were watching Bad Milo, and they're doing a medical procedure. This guy's getting like a colonoscopy, and then the demon. Have you seen Bad Milo?
I know of it, but
It's really funny. The guy has a butt demon. So, like, I thought it's just a little puppet, right? And then when he's doing the colonoscopy, the demon's face is in there and it leaps at the camera. And my son, hates jump scares, and anything medical like that just really freaks him out. But then I learned, and he wasn't watching it with me. He actually just came in to tell me something in the living room. Then he saw that, and it scarred him so bad. And I also think, I think it's inevitable no matter what. There are things that are going to scare you, and you can't protect your kid from everything. But, you know, just making the best decisions you can. You know, like, I remember my mom used to get those movie catalogs, and just the picture of Reagan's face from The Exorcist scared the crap out of me. I never even seen the movie, but I had nightmares with that girl all the time. But what's she supposed to do? Not have movie catalogs? No.
And see, I have this like distinct memory. We have a huge exhibition in Toronto, and we would go down. There was this place called the Vintage Video, and they'd have a big booth. And one of my favorite things in the world was to go into the horror section and look at all the VHS cases. This is back in the day. And I would read the whole description of the movie and look at all the pictures, and then I would get obsessed with these movies that I never even saw. And like to this day, some of them I never saw, like Castle Freak. I've still never seen Castle Freak.
So good.
But I remember reading, I need to watch this movie. But I remember reading the and looking up the VHS and just being like so into the pictures. But sometimes the images would scare me so bad. Like my mom had American Werewolf in London, and the VHS cover had a picture of the transformation on the back. And I was scared of the cupboard my mom kept that movie in. It wasn't even the movie. I was just scared of where that VHS lived in our house, because I knew on the back of that case was that terrifying werewolf picture.
Same. My parents had a whole massive VHS collection, and there were certain movies in there where like the tape itself was scary. And my brothers and I were all kind of into horror movies, and our parents let us, like I said, especially my mom was pretty understanding about some, but there were some that were absolutely forbidden. We could not watch The Evil Dead because it scared the crap out of my dad, who's a big wuss. We could not watch Dawn of the Dead. A babysitter eventually let me. I made it 5 minutes in. And we could not watch The Exorcist. And I didn't watch that until many, many years later. But another one, there's some where they were kind of on the fence. And they're like, Cujo's probably too much. Because they were, you know, anything with kids in it, I tended to connect to really well. But I remember they were gone once. And we put Cujo in. And we had like lookouts by the doors. And to this day, when that music hits, I still get that feeling of I'm doing something I'm not supposed to be doing when I watch Cujo. Like it's just instilled.
I think that is a joy of horror too. That kind of feeling,
like a roller coaster.
Like, is this good? I'm not sure. But I also wasn't allowed to watch The Exorcist because my mom had a religious upbringing, even though she's not particularly religious herself. And she was so scared of The Exorcist that like we weren't allowed to have it in the house. So I got the book and read the book because I wasn't allowed to watch the movie. So I was like, well, I'll read the book. And honestly, I was probably more terrified of the book than I was from anything I would have seen in the movie.
I just read that book. It's scary.
The only way I knew anything about The Exorcist was because in the movie The Burbs, Tom
Yes.
Hanks. Do you remember? And it
Yes.
shows that where the priest is, where he's thrown up on, and I remember Reagan's face, and that was the only, like I said, I can't ever watch that movie. And I mean, I've seen it since, but that was my introduction to The Exorcist.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you're onto something really profound there, is that with people, you never know what's gonna scare them. For me, it's just images, and usually images of people's faces. So Reagan scared me, just her face scared me. I didn't have to see the movie. She scared me. And then you can't trust ratings, because I'm not afraid of people using bad language. I'm afraid of a freaking kid coming out of my freaking TV. Like the Ring. I was an adult when I saw that, and I was like, "Oh no, you get back in that TV, young lady. That is not okay." I was so upset. I hadn't seen the original. I had no idea what I was getting into. That scared the bejesus out of me. I remember Paranormal Activity. I saw that in kind of a weird way before it came out at theaters. It was at Sundance, and a friend had like a screener of it, so that made it even more forbidden-y. It had the original ending, and I was like, get that out of my house. Like, and I'm an adult. Like, I'm in my 20s when I saw that. It's so funny because Steven Spielberg had a similar reaction when he saw a screener, and he put it in a garbage bag and left it outside and be like, collect this.
Well, and he locked himself out of his own home, apparently, and he had to call somebody in to get, I don't know, he locked himself in the room, and he was so terrified of Paranormal Activity. I remember hearing that.
Yeah. Oh, so, I mean, I guess what we could learn from all of our experiences is, even if there is something that really scares you, if you really love horror, it's not going to prevent a lifelong love of the genre.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because again, we kind of want to let the child guide us. You tell us what you like. But we have movies that, mean so much to us, like Scream. It'll be really important when we show him that. But I think that there were so many movies, like we were really lucky in the 80s and early 90s of the horror comedy influx of that.
Like Gremlins and stuff. Gremlins scared me. And my brothers especially. They were afraid to go in the bathroom because they thought Gremlins would come out of the sink and the toilet and the bathroom mirror because of when the teacher gets attacked.
Yep.
I had to check for the longest time. Are there gremlins? Because I'm the oldest. So I had to gotta.
How many brothers do you have?
I have 2 younger brothers.
Oh my goodness.
And a younger sister. So I have 3 younger siblings.
Oh wow, there's a whole bunch of you.
Yeah,
wow.
We have a whole litter. But I didn't find out about my sister until a while ago. And I still the evidence. I need to find the evidence that shows that we were separated at birth. Because I'm telling you. It's weird.
Yeah, there's a distinct possibility, I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have 2 sisters, and they're much younger than me. One is 11 years younger, and one is 13 years younger. And they don't like horror. They're not horror people. And I'm like, what? And they are the happiest, cheeriest, just not.
Yeah, none of my siblings really either. I have one younger brother. We used to watch a lot of horror movies when I was a kid together, but I mean, none of them are really into them. I will say another thing too is, and just be prepared for this, because this is what happened with my kid. So I guess it's a cautionary tale. So, my son grew up, we used to have him in the horror addicts videos and stuff. And so me and his stepdad, he knows, he's just surrounded by this stuff all the time. And he got a little, I think just tired of it. So his friends would come over and they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, your parents are watching horror movies. Let's hang out with them." And he's like, "No, that's all they he." You know how some kids will reject their parents' religion or whatever. So for a while there, he was very much horror movies are not cool. However, even though he's not a big horror movie person, he does love murder mysteries. I was telling you guys about this before. My son is really into old lady murder mysteries. If it's an old person trying to solve a mystery, especially with an accent like Perot or the Foghorn Leghorn Daniel Craig, LeBlanc from Knives Out. Oh, he loves that. He loves that so much. So we have things we can share like Scream and stuff. So I think one of the wonderful things about horror is it has so many other genres kind of meshed in. So if your kid's not into horror but they love sci-fi, you're still going to have things that you guys can share,
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Because we did have a lady tell us, I think we were at the doctor's office, and we had him dressed up. It was right before Halloween, of course. He's dressed to the nines, and she was telling us how much she loves Halloween. She was in like a whole Halloween getup herself, and she said, "Just so you know, like my kid hates Halloween, so be prepared. Yours will probably hate Halloween too." And I was like, "Don't curse us like that."
No, and most likely he'll probably love it. But if not, like I said, horror is so cool because there's so many other ways into it. And I think for kids, like when you're trying to feel him out for what does he like and stuff, and you're showing, you want to share things with him, like there are some really great things, like not just Universal Monsters, but Universal Monsters have been in so many kids movies too, like the Alvin and the Chipmunks Meet Frankenstein. I've been watching Monster High, which is really cool. I love Monster High.
I have some of their dolls, but I've not watched
Hotel Transylvania. You know, there's so many fun things like that, and you can kind of see like what he gets excited about.
And we're obsessed with Ghostbusters, both of us.
Yeah.
So,
my son loves that one.
And there's the cartoons of it. And then we were talking about Addams Family. I am an Addams Family girly. Like I was raised. Yeah. Like I love the Munsters too, but I feel like usually it's people are one or two kids.
And I was the Munster. I mean, I did have the Addams Family, but I was the Munster.
That's basically like a horror Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, I feel like most people like both, but people definitely have an opinion. I am more Addams Family than the Munsters, but I do love the Munsters.
I love them. Yeah. So I will show him Munsters too, but I definitely plan to do Addams Family. But I actually really enjoyed the more recent animated Addams Family movies that came out.
Yeah, those are cute.
Oh my gosh, who do we have here?
This is Brewster, so named after Fright Night. You're so cool, Brewster.
I say that all the time. I'm always like, you're so cool, Brewster.
Look, Jareth is a puppy.
He loves dogs. So we spent a month at my parents' after he was born, and I have a dog, and my mom has a dog.
There's a doggy back here, too. That's Brocky, his brother.
Who's that you see? Oh, there's a smile. You see
Good job. Look at you, Charmer. Oh, look at his face. Stop being so cute. Okay, don't. Stop. It's amazing. I love it.
There, he's a good man. He's actually, smiles and laughs now, which is so nice because I heard someone refer to them as angry potatoes for the beginning of their lives, and they really are. It's nice he has a personality.
No emotion. It was just crying.
Yeah,
just crying.
They have 2 sets of teeth inside of them, guys. All right? Empathy.
That's right.
It's terrifying. Terrifying.
Well, I was joking with Kevin, like, well, maybe we'll have another one. We're not really sure. And we'd already decided we weren't going to, but something about after you have a baby, that instinct comes in, and he goes, get another dog.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, we can get another dog. So he's given me permission. We're going to get another dog.
Yeah, dogs are great.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I lose sleep at the beginning with a puppy. Like it's a very similar, like I'm joking. I am raising him the best way I know how to raise a dog. Like that is, I know I have experience with dogs, not children or babies. I was never the kind of person.
Dogs are kind of like babies that just don't grow up. They just stay babies.
Yes.
So like these are 13-year-old babies.
It's perfect. It's perfect. So I think it's a good way to go about raising children because I never really knew what I was doing. So I'm like, all right,
honestly, I kind of went through that when I had my son. I was like, that's why I love the idea of your guys' store so much. I went through this like, holy crap, because I hadn't planned for it, and I was like, what am I gonna do? And I was looking at my whole entire wardrobe, like everything I own has something stupid on it. Like they all have ghosts or movies. I was like, I do not know how I'm going to PTA and all of the things. And he had to go to the doctor a lot. I never knew what to wear. And yeah, I like, because there's kind of this like idea of like what a mom should be. Like the D. Wallace and Critters mom or E.T. And I was like, I don't know if I am ready to like put away all of my who I am to do that. And I kind of learned, the hard way, because I didn't have a lot of like spooky friends or anything, that it's okay, and my son, I don't think he's just always embraced that. He's always been okay with it. Just like I've always embraced him being him. He's a little weirdo, but we love him. So, but yeah, I would still have my like my mom costume clothes for things where I didn't want to draw like a lot of attention for being different to myself, like when I'd go to like PTA meetings and stuff. But I think now it's getting even better. Like you see parents with tattoos, you see parents who like rock music or metal or horror, and it's becoming a lot more normal and accepted that there are just different kinds of parents, you know?
Yeah, I think that like I've talked to a couple other parents about this idea that you do go through a bit of an identity crisis when you find out you're going to be a parent, and you're like, how do I be a parent but still be true to who I am and how I think and what I like to watch and what I like to wear. And I had an experience when I was surprised by the lack of community support in where I live for new parents, and there weren't like baby classes. I was trying to find a baby class, and so I finally found like it was 2 one-night only classes I could do, and it was a birth basics class. So I went, and I felt awesome. I had my big huge hair and my bat outfit on, and I had this shirt that said mama bat and baby bat on the stomach, and I was done to the nines. And I showed up, and like we are talking the most Starbucks drinking, Ugg boot wearing, normies on parade group of people. And I'm like, well, whatever, I'm the weirdo. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe, I felt like I was back in high school. There was literally a woman who kept elbowing her husband or boyfriend, or whoever he was, and pointing at me. And I'm like, I can see you. Stop this. And I'm like, what's going on? So at the break, they all kind of broke up into little like groups and started talking to each other. And I was just sitting there by myself feeling so weird and alone. And even the teacher came over and she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I went home and I was like depressed. And I thought, okay, next week when I go back, because it was 2 weeks in a row that there was the birth basics and then the breastfeeding basics. And I thought next week when I go, I'm gonna tone it down. I'm gonna do the mom clothes, like try to, And then I thought, wait a second. No, I'm going to wear bigger hair. I'm going to wear more makeup. I am going to go even louder. And I feel like that was a turning point for me of being like, no, I think I need to still be who I am. And that helped with the identity crisis for me, because I definitely experienced that when I got pregnant. I'm like, can I still be this? Because this is what I want to be. This is who I am.
I think what I've learned, like coming out on the other side of it, because like I said, my son's an adult now. I am glad I let myself be who I am around my son, because I feel like my son is very accepting of different kinds of people. He does not judge people by if they have tattoos or facial hair or by the clothes they wear, the music they listen to. He judges them by their character. So I think that's really important. And yeah, just if you're accepting of yourself, it's going to help your kid, I think, be accepting of different people. So maybe their generation will be better than ours.
And like you're right, like I mean there's piercings, tattoos, it's so commonplace now, where it, like even when I was in high school, I was one of few people that had a nose ring. Like it was, and you had an eyebrow ring, and I distinctly remember you're one of few people that had an eyebrow ring.
That was late high school.
That was later in high school. But did you find it weird to take on the role of dad when you're not?
what like no.
For an identity crisis.
I'm gonna let my dog out real quick.
Oh, okay.
Oh. No. Cry freedom.
Sweet freedom. Horrible,
really.
horrible freedom.
I want him to have his own identity and stuff, but I still wear what I would normally wear, I think.
Yeah, and
I told him he couldn't wear a couple of his Terrifier clothes to like the children's things we go to.
Yeah, which is understandable. Yeah,
and that's kind of what I ended up doing, is I didn't get rid of the stuff that's mine. I found stuff that was like my stuff that would be acceptable. Like this is a cute Halloween dress. This is the kind of thing I would wear to like my son's school things. I'm not going to wear like my Serbian film shirt, but it doesn't mean I have to not dress up like myself. I can do that, just there's lots of different things, like an Addams Family shirt or something, or my son loves Ghostbusters, I might wear something like that, or Scooby-Doo.
And I feel like Addams Family, I mean, I keep talking about them, but like that was the mom that I aspired to be when I was
Yeah.
like, I know she's fictional. I know no one has to tell me that Charles Adams created Morticia, but like you were saying, they represent such a perfect and wholesome family dynamic. Yes, it's weird, but the mom and dad actually love each other. Like, think about how many TV families or movie families are like the mom and dad bickering at each other and, man, I hate you, why'd we get married? No, they love each other. Like, they can't keep their hands off
Well,
of
and
each
that
other.
was what's important too, especially at that time period. Even looking at like the Munsters or Bewitched, you never saw married couples showing physical affection. Whereas the Adams family, like they did, and I think that's really healthy to show children, like, how the heck did you guys think you got created? You know, I think that's
Exactly.
healthy, and it makes it to where they're going to be a lot more comfortable, like giving and receiving affection as they grow, because they had a good model for it. If your parents are like super stiff and you never show affection, then like what are we teaching them? You know?
Exactly. We want to show them love. And like, yeah, we might be having tattoos on us and be wearing black and spooky shirts or whatever, but like there's still so much love there. And I mean, I love the Dickens out of this little creature that I made. I didn't know how I was going to feel as a parent. I never really thought of myself as a maternal kind of creature. And I like love him so much. And I think that when you just get into that role, something clicks, something, like you said, it changes you. And it's true. Like, there's something so different about being a parent, but we don't want to not be who we are. And I mean, that's what makes us different. That's what is going to make us good parents. It's made you a wonderful parent, Gory. Like teaching about the quality of character and not about appearances.
I had a teacher. She was my anthropology teacher, and I just loved her. But I remember she was so upset that her daughter, because she's like this academic woman, her daughter was a cheerleader, and I just thought, like, that's so crazy, you know, like. And I think again, it's kind of that rebelling. But my son, one way I prepared for that was just like accept all people. So like he's not spooky like me. He does like Scooby Doo a lot. He likes D&D. He likes, you know, computers and things like that. But I have always tried to embrace what he likes and show interest in it too. So like I want him to watch a horror movie with me, but then we'll also, you know, we have our own little mystery book club where we read old lady mystery books together, and he loves it.
Oh, I love that. Sweet. And yeah, like that is so important to know about your child's interests and to play into them and let them explore that. Like, don't say, I like this, so you have to like this. Then
exactly. Yeah, and I think they'll honestly probably more likely to rebel, but I've always told my son, like, you know, it's fine. You don't have to like all the things that I like. I do like him to give things a chance. But like one thing that was really cool is it was coming out day a few months ago, and I told my son, because my son's bi, I was like, hey, happy coming out day. He's like, actually, I never really came out. I've just always been accepted for this. And I'm like, I love that. I like that you've always felt like you could just be you and you didn't have to come out to your parents. You know, like he told me the first time he had a crush on a little boy at school. I'm like, okay, that's cool. He sounds like a neat kid. You know, like I never cast in judgment.
You're doing it right.
Yeah.
Like that's good parenting, Gory. Like if that kid doesn't feel like they have to make a big deal. I mean, and if someone wants to make a big deal about coming out, more power to you if that's like a big, but if you feel you don't even need to necessarily let your parents know that because you're so loved and accepted, like that's just a testament to awesome parenting in my eyes. So well done.
The thing he got out of it, I guess, even though I raised kind of like I have a spooky household and stuff. I mean, the one thing he learned was to be authentically himself and not worry about what other people think. So
yeah, that's what you need to do, especially in this day and age. Like I've had students, like I teach at a university, and I've had a lot of students, you know, just ask me very unusual questions because I do try to look professional at work, but I always have like spooky buttons. I wear a lot of black. Like they figure it out. You can't keep it from them.
Yeah, I used to be an online teacher, and yeah, my students figured it out. They're like, oh, what's that?
Like,
you like spooky, you know, things in the background and stuff. I'm like,
they pick things.
They do. Like, I mean, I had a group of students approach me one time, and they were all like, "Are you a witch?" I was like, oh no, I was dragged out of the broom closet by my own students.
Oh!
But they just figure these things out. And I had one student approach me one time, and she was such a sweet gal, and she was so shy and quiet. And she said, I want to know, like, how do you have confidence to just be who you are? And I kind of sat and thought on it because she had sent me an email, and I was like, okay, I want to think how to best respond to this. And I think that I might come across more confident than I actually think that I am, but that's great. But I told her I would rather, like, everyone's going to judge you. Everyone's going to look at you and think things about you. I'd rather them see my authentic self and think things about me than dislike or say terrible things about the person I'm pretending to be. Like, at least, I mean, you're going to get judged no matter what. Might as well be for who you actually are.
No, that's exactly. And here's the thing. I think the people who are insecure or mean are the loudest. So one person might say something stupid and you go home going, oh, you know, thinking about things. But the quiet people who didn't say anything, there's somebody in that class who's like, hey, you know, she's so cool. I want to be like her. And they maybe didn't say anything because they're shy. But just because, you know, one person said something negative doesn't mean there's not 5 people there that you influenced in a positive way who were too shy to come up to you.
Exactly. And I think that just has all that power. And I'm very excited by the idea of him getting to be who he is and us figuring that out. Like, I'm just excited to see what he takes from me, from Kevin, and what he brings on his own. Like, what?
And I will tell you that too, in case you're worried, because I told you my story and how my son's not a horror person. He's only half horror kid. Okay, so his biological dad is into Star Wars. So, like, you know, I had a rough go of it. All right, his dad doesn't like Buffy, he doesn't like horror. You know, he's half ginger.
Kevin? Is it Kevin?
I mean,
That's my. That's
He's a ginger Star Wars nerd.
Yeah, I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. So I have my my horror stuff, but you know my fallback. So I really want to introduce him to Star Wars. So it's kind of like I can put the horror stuff kind of like and just kind of see if he embraces that first, and then say, okay, well I also really love horror movies. So yeah.
My son didn't get into Star Wars either, which is funny because during the baby hole shower we had a registry and his dad put so many Star Wars toys on there, and I was like, really? But he has a great collection of like the Death Star and stuff, so that's cool. But
we already have a baby Yoda costume for him, Grogu costume that Kevin got at Spirit Halloween. We also have a Ghostface costume for him for next year. We bought it on sale at Spirit, and I'm like, for next year, we're prepping.
Yeah, you can find the series on YouTube, but I really do. I just got into it like a few months ago. Monster High, like I really love it because they talk about like embracing your freaky flaws and be a monster, be different, embrace what's different about you, and embrace what's different about other people. Like that's what makes them special instead of expecting everyone to be just like you, which is cool. And they're very LGBT friendly, which you don't see in kids cartoons at all. But like the live action movie has like an actual trans kid in it. So I really like the 2 live action movies and the cartoons. I think they're fantastic. And then all the cartoon movies are on Amazon Prime. So I'm so excited about it because I just discovered this like 2 months ago and I'm a grown adult. But I feel like it's My Little Pony for freaky people. So
I love that. Like, because again, there's so much content out there for children that I just have no interest in watching over and over and over.
My son loved Little Einsteins and Dora. He was so, oh my gosh. I was in college when he was a baby and it was just me and him because I was a single mom. And I remember like I had to get to sleep because we had to get up early in the morning, but it was the Dora Mermaid movie. It was going to premiere at 8. I'm like, baby, you got to go to bed. He's like, please, can I stay up and see Dora Mermaid? And I'm like, okay. But he was so happy. It was totally worth it. But he adored Dora.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so much content out there now. It's going to be like challenging to just sort of pick and choose what to even expose.
A lot of people just like throw their kids on YouTube, and there's so much stuff that it's wonderful that you can pick and choose. Because I think with our generation, we just kind of watch whatever was on TV, but you can be conscientious and choosy about what you expose your kid to. So that's pretty cool.
And we've already picked a lot of things. Like we both love Gravity Falls. I don't know if you've watched any of them. I love
Gravity Falls. If you love Gravity Falls, a recommendation for you that you guys have probably already met is Over the Garden Wall.
Oh, I love Over the Garden Wall.
And I love it because again, it's spooky but wholesome. Like, I love
Yeah.
that.
And it's got a little bit of scary in it, and like that's kind of how we want to introduce him, is stuff that has a little bit of scary, like Addams Family and Beetlejuice
The
and things that
Disney Sleepy Hollow.
Yes, this old Disney. There's some
That's what I was
freaky
saying
old
earlier.
Disney.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people try to hide anything scary from their kids, but being scared's fun. You're being scared in a safe way, and it teaches your brain that, okay, I have this adrenaline rush, but I'm not in danger. And then you get addicted to it, like a theme park ride, and then you do it again. So sprinkling him with a little bit of scary, just enough to get his adrenaline, get him excited, is good. And if he tells you it's too much, then you dial it back. But he's not gonna be scarred for life. He'll be fine.
Oh, well, thank you. We appreciate all the advice, because like we've been very lucky. We have a great support network.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people who have kids in our life, but we don't have a lot of like spooky parent friends. And to just sort of know how to approach any of this is so helpful to us, because we do want to give him those opportunities, but we also, don't want to scar him for life. Not yet. Not yet.
But yeah, like, I think you guys are doing it exactly right. Like, Halloween is a great entryway into horror. Like, and that joy of being scared, of embracing things that are different. Like, I think that's exactly the way to go. I think you guys are doing it right. He's so handsome. Look at that face. Is he also ginger?
Yes, we think so. It's so light, it's hard to tell. Like, when he was first born, his eyelashes and his eyebrows were so light that you couldn't really tell where his hairline began. And he had hair on his ears, so we called him the little werewolf, like, because he is just ginger. So, but it looks like it's going to be ginger or blonde. We're not really sure, but Kevin,
Yeah, I started off blonde and then more like gingery later on. Like, I was very light blonde.
Yeah, and he's got his dad's beautiful blue eyes, and I was hoping he would get not these terrifying white ones.
I love them.
I like those.
What have you done with his eyes? So we're trying our best with that, but we had a lot of fun doing Halloween with him. One of my favorite moments for us so far, like, as parents, was we took him just to a little, it's like a couple towns over, but they had something called Boo Bash, and it was just like a sort of horror sorry, I got hair in my mouth. Market.
It's for your child. He's part werewolf.
Just probably horror event kind of thing going on, and we dressed him up, and it was our first time doing a family like costume, and that was the image that we've used for the thumbnail. And our friend Drea had gifted us a Frankenstein's monster costume for him. So it was Kevin's idea. It was like, well, why don't we be he originally said, why don't we be Frankenstein's monster and bride, because we've done those costumes before. And then we thought, why don't we be like the scientist, Dr. Frankenstein, and his helper Igor, and we sort of made our costumes from just stuff that we had.
Yeah, because we created him.
Right? Exactly. He's your creation.
Yeah.
And it was, like, honestly, probably one of my first really favorite moments of
That's what's on our thumbnail for the stream. It's such a cool picture. You guys have, I swear, guys, if you, their link to all their stuff is in the description below, but if you're not following this family on social media, you are missing out. Like, you guys have so many amazing, like, photo shoots with with each other and with your child, just like the old-fashioned ones. I've seen so many. You guys have done so many costumes. When you went to Spirit Halloween, just amazing.
Really, it was exciting to get to do, and I bought him a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man costume in the summer before he was even born, and so we wore that to a trivia night, which was his first night out at a restaurant. And he was
so good. That was our first night out, and I have to tell you, he was just so good, and he slept for a lot of it, and we were able to stay for the entire trivia. So,
and we came in second place, but we're pretty sure first place cheated. Just saying.
It was such an obscure.
Yeah, it was a strange.
Oh my gosh! Like, if I had to do it again, because I didn't really do a lot of spooky costumes and stuff with my kid, but you could do like a creepy, like, make an umbilical cord attached to him and make him look like a demon baby that came out of you. There's some creepy stuff you could do.
there is a picture of me when I'm like a year old, and my mom kept it in her wallet, and they took suction cup devil horns and had put them on my head and put me behind the wheel of the car. Like obviously the car was parked, but it looks like I'm driving, but like I'm like this devil baby driving
That
a
is
car.
so cool. That is
That was
so
like my mom's
cool.
scary picture. So
Something else I
love
really enjoyed, because here's another thing that I haven't touched on yet, but I think in addition to the fun of being scared, which I think for a kid that can be, you just take it gradually because they don't know the limits or what's real or what's not, like ghosts and stuff, and that stuff can be a lot. But one thing my son absolutely loved was scaring people. Like, it's fun to be scared, but it's also so fun to scare. And that was fun too, like teaching him how to make fake blood, which then when he saw it in movies, he's like, oh, I know how to do that. It's corn syrup and food coloring. We made it together. And I would prank him a lot. Like, he liked the Goosebump books. So you guys remember Monster Blood? We read his stepfather read him that. And Danny and I were like, well, let's make Monster Blood. That'll be so fun. So we did it, but then every night we made a bit more and a bit more. And he's like, Mom, it's overflowing. We have to destroy it. Put it in the freezer. Like, it was super fun. But he enjoyed scaring me too. And one of the things, even from when he was a baby, like tiny, when he started talking, I have videos of him, like, I would tell him a spooky story, just something tame, something kind of tame. But then he would come up with the craziest stuff. Like, I have a video of him telling me a story about a ghost that lived inside a chocolate chip in a cookie, and he's like doing all this stuff, and then there's bats, and he's like, one. But then I would act so scared, and then he was so proud of himself. Like, I scared my mom, who's like into all this horror stuff. So like, it was just so fun.
Great idea. Yes. When I was young, my brother and my godbrother, like, used to scare me with Freddy Krueger. He used to really scare me when I was, and he was like a year older than me, so he was the brave one, and he knew all the scary monsters, and so he used to scare me with that. But we used to play this game, and we called it Hide and Go Boo. And it was just hide and seek, but the premise was that you had to try and scare the other person before they found you. And I was saying to Kevin, I want to teach him this because it's like a fun change on hide and seek. Like, it's
I like that.
Enjoyable. But yeah, you get the joy of the fear too. I mean, if it's joy and fear, I hope. But I like your discussion of how to sort of go about that. So I think I want to give that a shot.
Yeah, there's lots of fun things. And like, I remember one year I always do like themed birthday parties. One year he had a mad scientist one, and they all made like Dr. Dreadful things, but we also did experiments and stuff. And I think when you get to be the monster, you're less afraid of the monsters because you kind of identify with them a bit, And I think that's why, people like, us like to dress up as monsters, and why we like these movies so much, because we do kind of empathize with them a bit. I mean, maybe not Freddy Krueger, but definitely like Jason or Frankenstein's monster and stuff, And that's why we feel so connected, because I think there's a part of all of us who are in the horror community that feel a little bit like misfits. And that's why we connect to this genre so much.
And that's why I think that the building of community is so important. And I really commend Horror Addicts, and I mean so many different content creators, but you guys bring together that community. Like you said, a lot of us felt like misfits, and like we didn't have a community. And I mean, I grew up in a small town. There was no one else watching Scream over and over and over again. And when I finally kind of took to the online spaces and met other people like me, I'm going, oh my gosh, they're out there. There are other monsters.
Yeah, that was really affirming for me, because I didn't have that either as a kid. I mean, I was in like a, we talked about ICQ and stuff. I was in like a vampire chat room. But for me, the first one where I realized there was other people like me, like, I mean, there's a difference between my parents who like horror movies and people like me, where like it's a lifestyle. So I watched Joe Bob Briggs, and he'd get like these letters and things, and I was like, wow, there are people all over the country who are watching this show who are like me, who are like really into them, who are not watching them and making fun of them. Like, I liked Elvira and stuff too, but she would make fun of the movies, and Joe Bob actually liked them, and other people actually liked them. And it was really affirming to get into the YouTube sphere and find the community here of other people who they're not dismissing, Child's Play as just a lame movie. They're like, no, it's actually really good. Yeah. So like, it's really cool to have like that tribe, to find your people, so to speak.
It's so true. And I think that that is the reason why we want to get involved and why we want to create content and keep this community alive, or undead. Because it is so important to us. And I think that any fan community is important, but I feel like when you do feel like a misfit, when you do feel like you're the only one that likes something, when you do meet the other people, it's like that thing in The Simpsons, when doves cry, this is what it's like.
Yeah. And you mentioned that you're a professor too, which I think is really, really cool. You've told me a little bit about some of your projects and your papers and stuff. Like, what do you teach? Like, are you exploring horror with your profession?
So I am. I teach at Trent University, and I'm just a sessional faculty member now. Unfortunately, I don't have tenure, but maybe one day, fingers crossed for me. But I work in the Gender and Social Justice department, but I also work in the Psychology and Sociology departments. So I teach a slew of different courses, but the ones that I teach most commonly are feminist psychologies. And I also teach a great course called Revolution Recorded, but they're changing it to being called Pop Culture, Social Movements, and Gender, I believe. But basically,
not like that they're changing it. Go back.
Yeah, of course. It's a little wordy now, I think. But I also teach the Crime and Society class and Psychology of Gender. But the Social Movements one is really fun because it's how different forms of art have been used throughout different social movements as forms of protest. And so I talk about fashion, I talk about music and art and performance art, and it's a lot of fun. But I do make a point, particularly in my crime classes and in my psychology classes, of talking about abjection and horror in that capacity. And I actually am working right now on a paper where I did an empirical study of women who attend live horror events. So people who walk through haunted houses, or people who go to fan conventions, or go to Halloween horror nights, and talking about women's involvement, because we actually did our honeymoon at Halloween horror nights.
That's so cool. We went to Hawaii for our honeymoon, but we got married in October. I think our wedding is the same as yours, October 13th.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, crazy. But yeah, we went to Hawaii, but while we were there, we saw Paranormal Activity 4 and we found a haunted house and we went to it. So we even made Hawaii spooky. We went on this cool place where they show where tons of movies were filmed in Hawaii, like where Jurassic Park was and stuff. So it was really cool. But for our 10th wedding anniversary, we went to Hollywood Horror Nights, and it was so fun.
It was amazing. And I already knew I was going to be working on a paper about it. So I like to think that I was there for research as well. But we were there for the joy of going. It really was. But that paper will be coming out fairly soon as part of an edited collection. But it's called "Are You Afraid of the Park?"
I love
because
that.
I have to have stupid names for everything I write. I always feel like I pitch a really ridiculous punny or something name and wait to see if anyone
I actually have a guest on Sunday, Taylor Bartell, and he has a podcast called The Wild Mouse where he talks about all kinds of haunts and theme parks and stuff. So he'd probably be a good resource for you. Do you guys have other horror projects you guys are working on?
What are we doing now? I mean, this is our biggest project
right now. I love that project. You're so cute. Look at those big, beautiful eyes. Look at you.
Well, we do want to. The only time I had a sunburn was in late October. Yeah, I know that feeling because we spent some time outside in October.
Yeah, we did.
But we kind of have, just with everything going on, we've sort of let our YouTube videos...
Which we haven't, normally on this show, that's the first thing I ask about, but you guys are the hosts of Creep Country Cinema.
That is, yeah.
Do you guys want to talk about what you do on your channel and how you got started? And
Sure. Do you want to...
So the name actually just kind of just came out of nowhere. We were just laying down and I was talking and I said, "Oh, we have a place called Sleep Country, Canada here," and I just kind of came up with Creep Country, and I said, "What about Creep Country Cinema?" And she said, "Oh, that's a pretty good name."
Love it.
Yeah.
She loved it, and so we said, "Well, we should," because we record our adventures and do mini vlogs and stuff, because she already did that when I met her. so we just kind of took that name, and then we just started, yeah.
And I feel like if you're not Canadian, you probably don't get the reference to Sleep Country Canada because it's Creep Country Cinema. But anyone that's Canadian, they're like, oh, like Sleep Country. And we're like, yeah, but we're Creep Country.
Yeah, we're Canada adjacent, and Danny wrestles in Canada a lot, so I am familiar with it. I feel like if you're along the border, you're like a Canadian cousin. So
there, perfect,
Right.
perfect.
Yeah.
Well, so like Kevin said, I was already like doing a couple of challenges like that I'd seen on YouTube, and I was just sort of trying to make some I don't know why. I loved YouTube. I love
you're
watching
such a
YouTube.
great performer, though. Like both of you have such incredible presence, and I can already tell little Jareth has it too.
Oh yes, he's gonna be right into musical theater.
I hope
And
so. I
Kevin-
sing to him all the time.
And you went to school.
I mean, just the way he looks at the camera and stuff, like he's got a cool energy.
He's a ham.
Look at
You're
that.
a ham. Oh, man.
But both of you, I love like how theatrical you are. I can tell you're theater kids. But especially like what you've done on the Oscars, you guys go all out. Like when we have you guys present, it's always so exciting because you guys do the accents and the costumes, and it's great. It's like a little production. It's incredible.
We thank you so
Thank you
much
so
for
much.
those opportunities. We live for doing that.
So much fun.
It's just like I have so much fun working on that, and we love coming up with our ideas for it. And obviously, if we can come back this year, this little fellow will be involved.
Yeah. Now, you guys inspired me because last year I made one for Strange and Unusual Book Club, and so we made like a whole like little mini movie. I was like, we're gonna do like Creek Country Cinema style. We're gonna go all out. So
yeah. Well, when we went to announce him, like him being in the world, we made a fake horror movie trailer, and I thought that that'd be a really fun way to sort of do a baby announcement. And yeah, we just, because Kevin, he went to school for acting for film and television, and I feel like teaching is a performance. Like I feel like I get up and I perform, I have to lecture, and like that's an important part of it. So we just both really wanted to be, you know, on the stage. We dance here in Peterborough, so we're part of. I ran it was called the Kitten Academy, and it was a burlesque troupe. And I started the classes, and then we all performed. So I still perform with those girls whenever I get the chance. And we usually have something like we had a witch themed routine last time, and then before a 9 to 5 theme. Routine where we killed our boss. So I try to get Kevin involved in those whenever I can.
And it's a lot of fun. It brings me back to doing theater.
And I mean,
it's doing more of it that, you know, when I used to. So being able to do it with her is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, acting, theater, teaching, watching movies is all communication. It's all communicating ideas about just being human about the world. So I absolutely think it's awesome. Hi, baby.
Thank you so much. And thank you for giving us a platform. Like we feel like, again, this community is so wonderful and supportive of one another, and we wouldn't have the opportunities that we've had if it wasn't for Horror Addicts and you and Danny. So thank you so much for
Thank you.
You guys. You are doing incredible things for our community, and we're so thankful that you exist and that you want to have people like us come on and get to.
I love that because it's even among our community, there's so many different people. And I think for me, like why I started this show is I wanted to get to know my friends who I don't see that much a little bit better and explore their stories. And everybody has such unique, fascinating stories, even people I've been following online for years, to get to know more about them. And it's just great. And I think it's great for the people watching to see all these different people, you know? Like there's so many different personalities you can connect to.
Yeah, get that connection that it doesn't matter where you are, you can find in.
Like there's this idea of what a horror fan is. And I'm hoping through this show and other things we do on like Horror Addicts and stuff that you see that there really isn't just one horror fan. There's so many different, like I was a goth kid in high school, and I remember one of my friends was like, you're a goth, but you're like the happiest goth ever. You're like Lydia from the cartoon Beetlejuice. Like you're not gothing right. And I'm like, eh.
And I think that that's a thing that people assume for a lot of fan communities and for alternative communities like like the goth community, the punk community, like they're the holier than thou kind of attitude that you're supposed to be a very specific way. Like either you're not doing it right if you're not gothing like this. Or dress a certain way, or like, be mopey all the time. And is that Danny?
That's Danny. Yeah, Danny runs Horror Addicts, so I do help him like with the Oscars and stuff. But really, the Oscars, like, that's his thing. That he does all the work for. I just co-host it, so that's all him. He works so hard on that, and he says we really appreciate how much you put into the Oscars presentation. So we definitely want you back.
And well, that would be amazing. Yes. We would love it. And I just want to say, Danny, we love you, and we appreciate all that you do for the community as well. And damn, you make a fine woman. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm gonna take a little credit because I do Danny with a nice makeup.
Oh well, perfect. I can see the family resemblance. She is
like part my creation. Like, she's alive. I lost my headphone.
You're drag daughter, right? Drag daughter.
Right? Yes. I used to do drag, so I was telling Danny about that. Like, when you start drag, you have like your drag daddy, or because I was drag king. But I was like, I feel like I'm like her drag mommy. So
I've also performed as a drag king. Like, again, we're basically the same person.
Yeah. Did you have a name? Mine was Sunny Boner.
I love that. The dog reference is perfect. I was Johnny Carter.
That's crazy because my very original one, my first one was just Cash because it was gonna be kind of like Johnny Cash, but my first performance was putting on the Ritz, and I like tap danced, and I had a whole like suit and everything. It was so fun.
That is so cool. I love it. We didn't do quite that creative with ours when we did it, but it was my burlesque troupe, and we decided to perform for Pride as a boy band, and we were called Hey Girl.
Oh my gosh, I love it!
Dragged me up, and I was and I was supposed to be like their groupie or their biggest fan, so I'm at the front of the stage.
Well,
and
Kevin, like, I mean, you're so tall. Like, I could just see like there's a lot of fun ideas there if you are willing to drag. Like, I could definitely see potential. I'm just saying.
And he's pretty good like that. I do his makeup a lot. Like when we were Chucky, I love doing that with Juice.
And both of you with the cheekbones. I'm just saying, you guys have lovely canvases.
Thank you so much. We do. We love it. Like, we just take such joy in it. When the pandemic hit, and I was like everyone, just feeling like really sad and down, I just started doing makeup transformations every day. It was like the thing that got me out of bed in the morning, be like, who do I want to be today? And most of my favorite ones were drag ones, like being Gary Oldman from Dracula and Manning.
I love costumes and theater, and like I feel like when I go to conventions and you're meeting like celebrities and stuff, it's just so much more fun to do it like in a cosplay. And even this show, like I like doing that. I like having a character to play. When I did Gory B Movie comes from when I did roller derby, and I was the one who had like the painted up face. Like I had a different face paint every year, so I had like a Jason mask one, but it was just paint, but it looked like plastic because I would like make it shiny in places. And I had like a jigsaw one. There's something very freeing about those transformations, like you said.
Oh yeah, and like I love when you're unrecognizable. That's one of my favorites.
Yes.
And when it was our first Halloween together, we started doing couples costumes, but at the very first, I said, I'm going to be the nun. I want to be the nun from The Conjuring 2. And
you have the eyes for it.
Thank you. They're my mother's eyes. So he was like, well, what am I going to be? And I said, well, why don't you be a priest? And like, I'll do the same kind of nun makeup. So that's one of our favorite costumes in our repertoire. And we went to a convention here in Peterborough, and we met Allison Court, who is actually the voice of Lydia from the cartoon series.
Oh, wow.
And she's also on the big comfy couch. She does a lot of
she was the voice of Claire in Resident Evil 2.
There, yeah. And I felt like so cool because she wanted to get a picture with us for her Twitter because we were all
you've done a good job.
And that's why I'm like, when this celebrity wants to get a picture with your costume, you did something right. And we got to meet the Grim Life Collective. I'm not sure if you
follow them on YouTube.
Oh, we love them. We're big fans. We got to meet them at a convention here, the Halloween show in Halloween Market in Mississauga. And when we got up there, Jessica was like, I was hoping I'd get to meet you guys because we were dressed as scarecrows. And it was like, I love being the scarecrows. It's such an outrageous costume. But again, when the celebrity's excited to see your costume.
My friend Becky, she's incredible with special effects makeup. I mean, she just goes all out for the costume contest at CryptoCon every year. Like, she's done Dead Silence where our friend's kid was the puppet and she was the lady. She's so good. But her Reagan is top notch. And at CryptoCon one year, Cassandra Peterson said, I need a picture with you. And I was just like, dude, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like, it's so cool. I haven't had that opportunity yet with my cosplays, but one day.
Oh, you will. You will. I mean, if I ever got to meet you in person, you know, I'd be fangooling all over you and you take pictures with me. Like, oh my god, I met Gory in real life.
You guys.
I feel like a fan getting to come on your show. Like, seriously, I'm just so impressed with what you guys do. And again, it's an honor to get to be part of this. This just feels like
an honor having you guys here. You guys are such fun guests. And Jareth, to get to meet you. You're incredible. Look at how gorgeous he is. Look at those eyes. He is gorgeous. You guys have made a beautiful human.
Oh, thank you so much. That's so nice to hear because he does not take great pictures yet. He always looks like an old man. So hopefully.
My son never grew out of that. Like, even when he was like 13, and like, so Saturday night, what you gonna do? He's like, you know, guys, it's 10 o'clock. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm pretty tired. That's just my son.
That's all right.
He was so excited yesterday. We saw Wake Up Dead Man. He's like, sweet mother-son date. And I'm like, you have no shame about being a mama's boy, do you? He's like, nope.
I'm hoping he's a mama's boy. Like, that's goals to me. Yeah. I mean, not like the whole Jason Voorhees mama's boy or Norman Bates mama's boy, but as long as it's, you know, healthy, like the lulz and gory mama's boy thing, I am so here for it.
That is one horror movie he really liked. His first favorite horror movie was Friday the 13th Part 2. And he did really like Jason. He's like, well, because he just really likes his mom. Like, he got that connected with him. And so I met Kane Hodder, and Wallace was like, I don't know, 8. I met Kane Hodder, and I said, my son just adores you. He's like, how old is your son, lady? And I'm just like, hey, don't judge, Jason. But I was like, can you sign this autograph to him? And he's like, no, that's great. It's so cool. So, yeah.
Oh.
Hey, baby. So before I let you guys go, and you guys have been fantastic guests, what can we expect either like on social media? You guys got a new photo shoot coming up, or you got something planned for Creep Country Cinema? Anything you want to promote?
Please just watch our space, basically. We have so many videos recorded just that need to be edited. I want to go back and do like how we DIY'd our dream wedding or our scream wedding. And like our honeymoon, we recorded all through it. Like, we have so many trips that we just recorded, and I just haven't had the chance to edit it. You know what the editing process is like.
You guys are really living like exactly what I wanted, but I wasn't creative enough to do the things that you guys do with my son was a baby. So anything you guys do, like, you know, setting up for your photo shoots, I would love a video about that. I would love a video about your wedding, how you decorate your home. I mean, you guys just have such a creative eye, and I love your style. I think anything, if you did like makeup tutorials, you know, how you do your costumes, there's just so much great stuff.
Well, thank you, Gory. We will definitely try to put out more, but definitely, watch our social media, and there'll be stuff showing up as this guy gets a little older.
And you guys got the right priorities. You know, family first. So I don't think, you know, there's no pressure, but when you're ready, I am so excited for your content, and I hope you guys will come back for the Oscars.
Well, we can't wait for the Oscars.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much, Kevin, Amy Jane, and Jareth. It was a pleasure meeting you. You've got some Vincent Price energy, man. You're a stud. I love you. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys will come back again and hang out with me sometime. And
we would love to.
Thank you everyone in the chat for hanging out with us, Mr. Flickster, Danny, and until we meet again, blessed be.